You know, in real estate, finding a true basis play, where you can buy something for way less than it's actually worth, that's kind of the holy grail. Well, today we're diving into an opportunity that is exactly that. The Westshore Assemblage in downtown Portland, Oregon. Let's break down what makes this deal so incredibly interesting.
Look, let's be honest. Finding real value on the West Coast is tough these days. But Portland is really starting to reemerge as a beacon for smart money. This isn't just about finding a random deal. It's about finding the right one in a city where all the key growth signs are pointing up.
So the big question is, why Portland and why right now? While other big West Coast cities have been getting all the attention, savvy investors are starting to look at the unique value that Portland is bringing to the table. Just look at the numbers when you put Portland up against, say, San Francisco or Seattle. The difference in the cost to get in is, well, it's not just a little discount, it's massive. That gives you this critical buffer against whatever the market throws at you. And it creates this huge runway for long-term growth. It's a true ground floor opportunity. And here's the thing, that ground floor is already getting busy. After some ups and downs, the momentum has definitely shifted. Recent data from OPB shows Portland's population is on the rise again, which is a huge indicator that demand for housing is heating up.
Okay, let's zero in on the main event here, the West Shore. Because the whole idea, the whole investment, it's all built on one number. That is just, honestly, it's kind of unbelievable. We are talking about an unbeatable basis.
And here it is. Take a look. 113 units, right in the heart of downtown. This isn't some old rickety building either. It was built in '97, it's got an elevator, none of those expensive seismic headaches you get with the old brick buildings around there. It's the kind of solid, well-placed asset you want in your portfolio.
Okay, get ready for this number. $35,390 per unit. Let that sink in for a second. That's your acquisition cost for a modern apartment building in a major West Coast city. It's just an incredibly low basis. This right here is the anchor for the entire play.
Okay, so you have that number in your head? Now let's drop the market average right next to it for comparison. Boom. $243,000 per unit. That gap, that chasm between what you can buy this for and what the market says a unit is worth, that's what we call a massive opportunity.
But hold on, because that incredible basis, that's really just the ticket to get in the door. The real magic happens when you start to unlock the 3 hidden layers of value that are packed inside this asset.
First off, what we call operational lift. Now, this is an affordable housing property, which is great because it means we're preserving a vital community asset. But here's the kicker. The current rents are over $330 a month below what they're legally allowed to be. That is a huge amount of loss to lease that's just sitting there, waiting to be captured.
So what does that mean in dollars and cents? Well, it's huge. Just by doing some simple cosmetic touch-ups and bringing those rents up to their legal limits, you're looking at the asset's value potentially jumping from $4 million to over $10.4 million. That's over $6 million in forced depreciation, and you're doing it all by the book.
All right, value layer number 2 is all about the building itself. See these first 2 floors? Right now, it's just a big, underused parking garage. But if you look at that space with a little imagination, you see a massive development opportunity. How massive? We're not talking about carving out a couple of extra units here. Early plans show you could potentially build as many as 57 brand new apartments in that space. Think about that. You'd be dramatically boosting the unit count and the income without having to break ground on a new building.
And finally, the third layer. This one is all about location, location, location. This property sits at this perfect intersection of 3 incredibly powerful incentive programs. It's in an opportunity zone? Check. A qualified census tract, which is huge for LIITC financing? Check. And it's in the new Westside TIF district, which opens up public funding. Hitting all 3 of those? That's like hitting the jackpot.
So we've seen the value packed into this one building. But now I want you to zoom out with me for a second, because the West Shore is really the anchor for something much bigger. A vision for a whole institutional-scale campus right in downtown.
See this empty lot right next door? Now, full disclosure, this is sold separately, but the potential here is just enormous. It's zoned for a 130-foot tower. If you were to acquire this piece too, you'd create a true campus, unlocking incredible scale and long-term value.
So when you put it all together, what do you have? You have something really special. It's this rare sweet spot where profit meets purpose. You get to execute a killer financial strategy, generate serious returns, and you're preserving essential, affordable housing for a nonprofit partner. It's a win-win-win.
And that's why, at its heart, this whole thing is what we call a basis play.
It's a simple concept, really. It just means you're buying something for way, way less than it's actually worth, or what it would cost you to build it from scratch today. It's the foundation of smart investing. You know, the broker's memo really nails it with this quote. It says, you'd be buying a $10.4 to $11.4 million asset at $4 million. It's buying a dollar for 50 cents. I mean, that says it all right there. It just perfectly sums up the whole opportunity.
So, if this mix of deep value, all this layered upside, and the positive impact on the community sounds interesting to you, let's talk about what's actually on the table and how you can take the next step.
Okay, so the main offering is the Westshore itself, the 113 units plus that parking deck with all its conversion potential. And like we talked about, that vacant lot next door with the tower opportunity, that's also available, but it's a separate deal. You'll want to talk to the broker to figure out how that could all come together.
And honestly, maybe the biggest signal of how strong this deal is comes from this final quote from the broker. When someone says they're willing to roll their own fee, their commission, back into the project, well, that's not just confidence, that's real skin-in-the-game conviction.
Look, this is one of those rare shots to get a deeply discounted asset that has a crystal-clear, multi-step plan to create huge value, all while doing some good by preserving affordable housing. So really, the only question is, are you ready to dig in and get the full story?
For all the details, the offering memorandum, the financials, and to really talk through the strategy here, your next step is simple. Reach out to Bjorn Beer at SVN Embry. Seriously, this is an opportunity you do not want to let slip by.